Welcome in, Kuma Crew. Once again, it is your favorite friendly despair bear, Annakuma, and today we're here with a new Keymailer game. So thanks to Gamius for the key to Turmoil. Turmoil was celebrating its 10th anniversary, and I'd never heard of the game, so let us take a look at what it is. What it is a lot of fun. Turmoil is an oil drilling strategy game. It has a campaign mode as well as a single player and multiplayer mode to play on. We'll be looking at the campaign today in this video, but I'm sure I'll stream a little of the single player at some point over on Twitch. You get to pick from 4 different characters. I picked Ricardo over here because he said Buenos Dias, which sounded much better than listening to the other 3, wine. It ultimately doesn't matter though, as your character is only really an avatar in this war against the other 3 to make the most profit. This game is super simple to play. You will place a dowser or a mole or use a scanner, depending on your upgrades at any given time, on the land that you had to buy in auction to find oil. You then place the machinery, dig the holes blindly till you find the oil, and then hire people to go sell it for you. In the tutorials, you only have 1 store, but soon you'll have 2, and the prices go up and down depending on how much you sell in them, I think that's the mechanic. You can have a silo to store the oil in until you're happy with the prices. We're given a set amount of time on the licenses to the land to make as much profit as you physically can. Oil isn't always a given though, and you can and will run out if you are productive enough. Some land has more oil pockets than others, and you even get a cool mechanic of giving up the license on the land before your time is up if you think you've got all the oil there is to give. And if you do it in a timely manner, you will get some money back on that land. Now, I only played the first area for this review, but I already know from going back to town after finishing the first area that it looks very much like you'll be able to dig up gems and all sorts going forward with the moles. This review is more of a first impressions. Yeah, remember when I did those? Well, I'm bringing them back, baby. And I do want to play more of this game, both on stream and for the channel as a whole, because I really enjoyed it. Turmoil doesn't do anything super interesting. It doesn't break the mold of this type of game. It doesn't do anything different. What it does perfectly though. It keeps you busy, it gives you multiple things to manage all at the same time, and it never asks too much other than to play it. You do have weekly challenges. They even have a thank you to those people who I guess have kept the game alive in the 10 years it's been going on their main page. It's obviously a game with many passionate people who love it, and I can see why. Again, it isn't going to blow your mind, but it does become slightly more hands-on the more you play. You see, in Turmoil, you are also building up this town right here. As you come back, new stores open with new upgrades to make your life easier. I didn't really do many upgrades, but I did want to try out the mole, so that was my big spending opportunity in the game so far. To be fair, for the first area, the mole ain't worth it, but it is a cute concept and I dig it. Get it? Dig it? Because moles dig? I'm so funny, guys. So funny! That being said, you can also go to the tavern and pay for favors, whether that is to take away penalty fines for spillages, or even keeping the amount each store will pay for all at a high price. It is all about doing whatever you must to keep your profits soaring. Just because it's simple doesn't mean it isn't challenging either. Like me, you can go absolutely crazy, go too fast, and end up with no money at all. You only get to take 2 grand with you when you head off to the land you bought, and that can run out real fast at the beginning. Another upgrade I did get was thicker pipes so that they can suck up the oil faster. The big problem? Doing so means that your rigs get full faster, and without enough horses to cart the oil around, it will spill, giving you a hefty fine. Not just that, but you have to micromanage the horses. You do have an upgrade to tell you how many horses you have, which in the end, when you just spam horses till you have the set amount, doesn't seem worth it, and kind of made me giggle before then for the amount of times I hired a few more horses and forgot to add them to a store and didn't have a silo at the time, so they just sat there with oil and nowhere to go, is embarrassing. Then you have the managing of where you're selling the things, if you are selling it at all. And I'd only just unlocked Mare hints and not looked at them, but the Chivos make me think, as I said earlier, that if I did just wait and store my oil, I might be able to get the prices to go up much higher than I ever saw them in game. It ramps up the challenge without you really knowing, or I guess you ramp up the challenge without the game even telling you to. I feel I like to go right in and get as much oil as fast as possible, but that isn't the best idea. Not just that, when the rig would run out of oil, I'd zigzag around trying to find another pocket of oil for ages, with very little luck, and the problem ended up being that the rig was getting too big, so even if I did find anything, it would take forever to pump things back up. Personally, I liked it. I liked the fact that the game didn't become overly challenging. I just got too cocky and needed to back up a little and work on focusing on my tasks better. There are so many things to keep your eye on that getting overly greedy or super focused on one thing will instantly mean you aren't being efficient somewhere else. I'm also impressed that there is a lot more going on under the bonnet than you originally think, and that there is obviously so much more for me to go back in and learn. New challenges seem to await in the new section of land I've opened, and whether I can continue to grow or not will need to be seen. I didn't dive into the upgrades in town because they cost a lot of money and I wasn't too sure how helpful they'd be, which is probably silly of me. As this is a first impressions, I didn't feel the need to jump back in, but the upgrades will for sure be something I pay more attention to in the future. For sure, the most important ones was the thicker pipes, which gets the oil up much faster. It helps gain you the money you need to expand faster, but also, as I mentioned before, if you give up the lease earlier than the deadline, you can gain a little money back for yourself. It isn't much, but it still gives you a little profit back. Another good upgrade is just to upgrade your oil finding methods. The moles getting more triangles to dig up, and the dowsers being able to scan lower will help you find pesky hidden oil pockets. At first, I struggled with making profit. Slowly, I got better, and the last few rounds I did, I was outscoring the others by a good deal. That didn't stop it becoming an anxiety-inducing game in the right ways. You don't have unlimited time or oil pockets. Whilst you might feel you're gaining a lot of money, it also easily disappears as well. All the upgrades cost a lot, all the things you have to place down cost a lot. I was very bad at managing a lot of different things at once. Scared that I'd end up with a lot of oil sat in silos, so forever juggling between the two stores to sell them, and then getting my attention sent elsewhere, and the next time I look, I'm selling it for like 20 cents. I'd be busy looking for more oil in the ground and not notice the beeping of a silo about to blow. I don't mean silo, I mean a rig, because horses are idle, or I don't have enough of them. Because horses are idle, or I just don't have enough horses in general. There's another way to sort out the rigs though, and this is my only negative of the game. If you press these buttons here, you can turn on and off the flow to the rig. This, of course, will prevent the oil spillage if you don't have enough people and time. That is in the negative, and I should have used it more often, to be fair. The negative is that it is so easy to press these buttons by accident, especially whilst first connecting pipes together, and it costs money to do that every time. The first time I did it, I didn't even know what I was doing because I hadn't reached the tutorial for it, and just sat there wondering what I had done wrong. There were a few times I accidentally pressed it, went to press it again, and felt like it took more money to keep it off. I don't feel these buttons worked properly, but it could have also just been me. I don't know, I'd have to play the game longer to figure that out, but it is too easy to switch them off by accident. It isn't a big chunk of money at just $150 dues, but when you are just starting, it is a lot of money, and it can lead to you struggling to get the money to turn them back on. But I'm also somehow able to fat finger everything when not actually using my digits at all, but a mouse pointer. So, as long as you are aware of it and mindful of clicking near the dots, then it is the perfect way to avoid spillages, and it makes sense you'd lose money turning them on and off. I spent 2 hours doing the first area of the campaign mode, and honestly, it was a lot of fun. I highly recommend this game. There was a drilling game I loved as a kid, and it reminds me greatly of that, even though you were drilling ores in that with a little, machine that went down. It was nothing like this game, but it did give me nostalgia for that game. I need to find out what that game was and see if I can find it. I love that game. It is something you could play when you are bored or watching your favorite second monitor content. It'll keep you busy. It has a fun little story, or you can dive into just playing it solo or challenging other people. And even if you don't necessarily understand everything about the game at first, it doesn't punish you for not being certain. You can just keep looking for the oil and everything will end up okay. Trust me, it will. So, if you're interested in Turmoil and its 10th anniversary, please find the link to the game in the description below. That is all I have time for today though, Cubs. If you'd like to keep supporting this bear here, then please feel free to like this video, comment below on how you'd spend your oil money, and subscribe. Also, leave a follow over at twitch.tv/Annakuma, where I stream 5 days a week. It is my full-time job, so I'd love to see you over there as I fell my way to the top of the gaming chain. Or something like that. I am a failure of a gamer, I'm a failure of a VTuber. We are failures. It is our tagline. It isn't, but it should be. I'm gonna add it to my Twitch page. Maybe, if I remember. Till next time though, thank you as always for watching, and bye-bye.